So I'll just get. Okay, so as we pull this up, DMC. So for those that do not have this link, I will put it into the chat for you. So you can join us here. Right, and I'll share my screen as well. All right. So yes, as I mentioned, if you heard about the American Express Blueprint Backing Businesses grant powered by DMZ and you're interested in applying, you are in the right space. If you may have seen, I put a lot of posts about different grants, and the ones yesterday, last week, those are closed if you're talking about the Rays and Desjardins. So if you're still hoping to apply for those, unfortunately, that has passed. But today we are digging into the American Express Blueprint Backing Businesses grant. And Nav, did you want to kind of walk us through an overview of it, and then we can ask just about high level stuff?
For sure. And I think since you have the website pulled out, we can kind of go by step, but I can share a little bit more about who the DMZ is, and then we can kind of jump into things, just awareness for everyone else. And so the DMZ is a incubator for startup tech companies. We're one of actually the world's number one tech-based incubator here, located in Toronto, Canada. I'm not sure where everyone's located, but we do operate pretty globally in 14 different kind of nations, more or less. And so we've kind of partnered back with Amex for a third year of this program. What's great about this program is that our goal isn't really necessarily to focus on tech like we usually do, but actually to foster innovation amongst entrepreneurs here in Canada. So a little bit more about how we do that is the goal of the program is a mentorship and grant program kind of designed to support the advancement of small business owners that identify as BIPOC across Canada. And so 50 business owners will be selected to take part in this program, to where we'll provide tools, resources, in order for them to receive up to a $10,000 grant to take their business to the next level. And so together, both Amex and the DMZ has kind of contributed a collective of $500,000 in grant. And so throughout this program, it'll be a 12-week curated mentorship and training program. It's completely virtual, and we have industry experts and mentors to help you answer any questions that you may have on a day-to-day basis. And then it'll kind of tap in from coast to coast. And so depending on where you're located, we'll be able to kind of provide you some resources to kind of get things up and going. So we'll come back to, or you know what, we'll talk about eligibility right now. And so to be eligible for this program, you need to identify as a member of the Black, Indigenous, or people of color community. You must be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or hold a current and valid authorization under the Canadian Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. You must be the founder of your company, so you must be the sole owner or hold a senior position within the company, but the company is at least 50% owned by the owners. And then your business must be incorporated here in Canada in order to receive the grant. And then from a language point of view, our programming will be done in English and French. And if you've ever done this program in the past in 2021 and 2022, you unfortunately will not be able to apply again. So and applications,
just to double down on that section. So if you're a sole proprietor, you would not be qualified. You have to be incorporated?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, just to make sure.
Oh, Ryan, you just went on mute.
Yes, as we let people know about it, we'll make sure to send out that piece of the criteria to segment.
And look, if anyone's ever unsure, like shoot us an email. We'll be going through applications, these next couple of days like crazy, because people tend to do last minute applications.
Oh yes.
But there's nothing wrong with shooting your shot, more or less. And that brings me to the application date. And so it is actually this Wednesday, the 13th. And so you'll submit your application. There'll be an application review committee, which will give us about a week, which we'll go through. And then we will let you know during kind of post holidays if you've been accepted into the program. And then the program will begin mid-January, January 16th, and will conclude at the end of March. And then grants will be awarded. So companies who submit their grant form to the program date for the start date will receive their grants by February 15th.
Yeah, solid. No, that's
Yeah.
no. So the actual mentorship like training will start mid-January and then
Mid-January, correct. It's a 12-week curated program. And the goal is that we'll have workshops, all be virtual. We understand that people are working on their business. So sometimes we'll record them and share it back with you so you can review them at any time. And then you'll have that kind of one-on-one mentorship that may be a bit limited. It can't be unlimited mentorship, but we'll kind of get you that support to kind of get you to those next steps.
Excellent, excellent. And I did want to open up the floor if people had specific questions about the structure of the grant. Oh, Brian, I see a hand raised. You can go ahead. You can unmute.
Yeah, so for the program, yes, it's an incorporated business, but in terms of going through the 12-week program, who's eligible to go through that? Is it just the person that applied, the owner, employees? What?
Yeah. So I think there's a line that clarifies. So it needs to be the founder, owner, or a person of senior position within the privately held or for-profit company, where the company is at least 50% owned by owners or founders. So it has to be the ones that necessarily apply. It's not necessarily like the team that you can send to attend on your behalf.
But how many people can attend is really
Oh, that's the question that you're asking. I think, there's a bit of flexibility if you have a co-owner, but I think it's like having everyone on the team is not necessarily the case.
okay.
Yeah.
And so this 12-week curated program, how much time is involved? Are you meeting once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? Like what is?
Yeah, I would say so. It's one of those you get what you put in. So it's a couple times a week in terms of the curated workshops
Okay.
that will really defer, and then also the mentorship, which will be a couple times a week as well. It's not meant to be fully intensive where it takes you away from your job, but just enough to give you that support and ask any questions that you may have. Now, there may be times where there are more workshops one week than other weeks for sure. And we'll keep those in mind as we go through the programming.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And much appreciated. And thanks for those questions. Was there anyone else that had questions more specific to how the program operates? Any questions about timelines, what to expect? I know we did touch on applications are due pretty much by midnight, Wednesday, December the 13th. You would be notified, I guess, about a week later, but the mentorship program actually starts mid-January and then
Correct.
goes until about end of March. And as you're doing your form for the grant, funds would start to disperse around mid-February. So February 15th, you can expect
correct.
that.
And then the program would conclude at the end of March.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, yes, saw another hand go up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the grant monies, is there restrictions on how that is to be used?
Not necessarily, no. No, it's a great question. There's no restrictions from that end. It's just as I kind of shared that you will need to be kind of incorporated.
And was there, I know last time it didn't really ask for a breakdown of how you're going to use the money. So is that included this year, or as you're going through the program, you're kind of
As you
making
go through the program, your program lead that you'll work with, you'll kind of work with them and talk with them to see where the money goes to, but more or less it's ultimately up to you.
Okay, excellent. No, that's solid. I'll do a final call before we dig more into the actual application. Was there anyone else that had questions before? I don't know, Naveed, you feel free to stick around, even if you want to listen in to see if any questions pop up, but just,
I see there's a question in the chat. It says, is there a pitch required with our applications? No, it's just the application. You will get an opportunity to pitch at some point, but not with your application. They may ask for a pitch deck in the application, but not like an actual presentation or anything along those lines. Great question.
Excellent.
But I'm happy to leave my email in the chat right here. And if anyone has any more questions, like don't hesitate to reach out and as you go through kind of the program and process. I know it gives you a tight window of like 48 hours to apply,
Yes, yes.
but good luck. Remember, it is also in EST, so keep that in mind.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And you said there's gonna be a max of 50 selected.
Correct. Yeah,
You
correct. So
seeing,
500K, 10K per.
yeah, are you seeing similar application levels as to previous years? I think they hit about close to 1,000 last time.
So it's funny because in previous years I have reviewed the applications, but for this year I'm actually not reviewing the applications because I'm working on the partnership side. I'll kind of
Gotcha.
see the end value of it, but I won't actually get to review them right now. So that's what makes it great because I can't be biased.
Okay. Oh, that's excellent. Okay. So as we're going through the questions, if things do come up that I'm unable to answer, we'll
Shoot me an
definitely,
email.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah. But that being said, I may, if we do get a crazy influx amount of applications, which has happened
Mhm.
in the past, I may get pulled back in. So
Ooh, right.
yeah,
Okay. No, again, much appreciated as we
yeah,
go
no problem.
through.
Happy to help.
So anyone that is watching as we go through the questions themselves, please do pause and let me know because it's similar questions to last year. So
Mm-hmm.
might not,
Not a lot has changed. Just a
yeah,
lot of legality jargon that has had to change based on the Amex side. So, if you guys know, like for example, Amex's poster person was Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet is no longer a Toronto Raptor, got changed or left to Houston Rockets. So that played a factor on
oh,
that
right.
forefront and things. So a lot of just different things that have occurred, but more or less the application is the same, and hence why it's coming out of the DMZ website.
Gotcha. All right. So this is where it does talk about full-time team members. So you
Yep.
mentioned at least two should be able to go through it,
Yeah, you can squeeze through
maybe
through
three.
two because, like, look, sometimes we've had people that are co-founders. We've made the exception if three people are the founders of the company. It's just crazy when we got like 8 people on there, and it's great that you have that many people committed to the business. But if
Right.
we're giving the money to you, we want these founders on there.
Yes, makes sense. And so as you're seeing what is asking you for full-time team members, making sure 50% are Black, Indigenous, or person of color. Does talk about your sector. So if you can find your sector, if not, hit other and then just type in where you feel like you land. Does it rely on bricks and mortar? So for us, it's no.
Leroy just had a question, and he asked if you have more than 50 qualified applications, how do you do the selection? Yeah, I think like
And
everything, like we're always, I promise you, we already have more than 50 qualified. It's just as being as detailed and thorough as possible. And explaining as to why you want to be a part of this program and why you need the funding. And then from there, it's kind of in your hands and the application committees to choose who's best from that idea.
yeah, and that's where grants are definitely always competitive, especially
Yep.
national grants. So expect that there will be possibly over 1,000 applications similar to previous years. And do you know, since it's only doing 50, is there like is it 100 for the year or is it just 50 and they just kind of roll
Yeah,
it?
just 50 for this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there might be like, is it going to be yearly? Are they thinking of still
Yeah,
having
hopefully.
50?
Yeah, it's if American Express continues to support them for sure.
Okay, that's good to hear. So one thing you do see here, it talks about that you do need to be incorporated. Do you know, does it matter between federally or provincially, or as long as it's incorporated either
Just
or?
as long as it's incorporated.
Okay. And then which province, year. All right. So then if not, oh, incorporation number. Oh man, you're gonna have to pull out. Did I
Yeah.
somewhere? Let me see. I thought I did. Oh, I'm gonna have to go find that. What type of business incorporated? So what happens if they do put sole? Does it kick them out? Or
If they sorry.
if they say that they're a sole proprietor?
Yeah, I think
Kick
then
them
yeah,
out?
they wouldn't be considered in the application side.
Hmm, gotcha. All right, one thing that I typically say as a tip, use a note keeper type application. So you'll see I have some of my answers from last year. So hold on. As we go through this, please feel free to open up a Google Doc, take all the answers that you're putting in and put them into a Google Doc. I like to use Google Keep, just quicker to grab. But when it's asking you about social media handles, it's always a pain trying to go and grab those. So that can just make it quicker for you. And it talks about, are you active in the Canadian market? So definitely saying yes. And is it a full-time commitment for at least one of your co-founders? So you want to make sure that's yes. And money that you've gotten in the past. So I know family, and you can add more. All right. And how did you hear about it? I guess you could put, does it ask who? Hey, if you heard about it from ACBN, you can put association name ACBN. And now this is where they want you to pitch your company in 100 words or less. So like I said, we're gonna jump into, what did we put? Oh wait, where'd it go? Oh, I made it small, that's why. Let's see, did I put 100 words or less? All right, so for detailing nights, yes, waterless mobile car cleaning, manufacture plant-based cleaning products. We're most proud of our youth entrepreneurship program. So we'll put that in. And then they do want a bio of you, the owner, and your team. So this is again where you do want to brag about yourself. Don't hold back. If a lot of times, you want to be humble and don't want to hype yourself up, but this is where you should actually be building out that executive bio. So if people are asking you, and again, as you're building your company, you're going to get asked to do interviews, you should have a bio of yourself that really talks to your accolades. So in this section, this is where you would paste in that bio so that they know about your accomplishments. And where did I did have it here. So this is an excerpt from my bio. Put that in. All right, I do have space left, so I'll probably expand upon it a little bit, but we'll talk about year to date. So we're at 120. They want to know about your current revenue streams and your pricing models. So this is where it talks about the different ways that you bring money into your business. So for us, we do the mobile car cleaning, and we also sell licenses, and we also sell the products. So this is where you just want to do a breakdown. So we did a breakdown of the services that we do, where they range from, and that we sell our car cleaning supplies. So we'll just put this in. All right. And let's see, major accomplishments for your business again. Oh, and I did see a question. If we received a loan of 6,000, how would that come across to the selection committee? Yeah, Nav, did you want to touch on, based on funding that we've gotten from the past, does that affect how our applications are looked at?
Yeah. I just responded to in the chat because I didn't want to interrupt you. But yeah, the selection committee will base it off everyone else's funding, right? And so if someone has like $1 million, it might be a bit different. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's how it would play out. And then from the accolade side, it would be like, if you've won multiple awards and you're getting traction, then we'll continue to support.
It makes sense. And again, this is where, when it's talking about the major accomplishments that you've achieved, it is your time to brag. Have you seen a trend in like different accomplishments that people have had that were successful, or it's kind of just talk about how good you've been?
Yeah, I think if people can get traction in terms of, their local governments, their municipalities, their counties, and so forth, for sure.
Cool. And again, remember, if you do have a question as I'm going through, feel free to either raise your hand or type it in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat, so I might miss it. So Nav, thanks for catching those ones.
No
But
problem.
yeah. So major accomplishments. Again, let's see what I talked about. So being named top 40 under 40, emerging entrepreneur. And it does give you about 1,000 characters. So maybe tell a bit of the backstory. Sue, I see your hand is up. Did you want to go ahead?
Okay, so I'm still a startup. Okay, I've been in business 2 years, so I'm not making a lot of money yet. How will that come across to the selection committee?
Yeah, that's fine. There's a lot of other people that are like you, but I think as long as you can be thorough in your application, I think that will be more than sufficient. As more detail you can be, especially in the character limit, that's how they'll review it.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So talking about hurdles and challenges, let's see, did we put anything? So I talked a bit about the imposter syndrome that I go through, trying to cash checks at banks and being seen as a criminal. You can talk about the lack of capital, but this would be something you can definitely dig into a bit of the challenges that you've been facing, especially as you've been building the business, and then touching on like how you've been able to address them and work through them. And they do want to hear about your competitors that your business has, either locally, regional, or international. So a quick question, Nav. So for businesses in Canada, you can be operating internationally, or do you have to be only operating in Canada?
I think you have to be operating in Canada.
Okay, so
we're targeting Canadian founders.
Right, all right. But can you be doing business international?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So just keep that in mind. So if you do business across Canada or international, you can put some of the competitors that you have. That question might be new. Oh no, it's here. So we answered that last time. So I'll put some of the people that have been. Oh, I think I put like our threats SWOT analysis of our main competitor. So think through who you feel are some of your main competitors. So we had 3 that we identified. And now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nav, but this area of the application is really important because this is talking now about the programs and goals of what you want to see while you're in this program.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's important to be detailed all the way throughout. The more detailed about why you need the money, what you're trying to accomplish, where do you want to be, who your competitors, what makes you different from your competitors. All these things are important. And I tell this for everyone for all our applications. The more detailed, the better. It's not trust me, it makes our life difficult to read more, but it's better for you to have a better chance of getting in.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we talk about while writing grants. You want to make it as easy for the reviewer to understand either your goals or your project or about your business. You don't want them guessing and trying to figure out what is it that you're trying to explain. So as clear and concise as you can be as you talk about the program goals that you want to have and the areas of interest that you want to improve going through the program. Make sure, like, don't leave any room for confusion. Now with the dates, would this be how soon that they want the actual, I guess, that goal to be hit, like milestones, or
Correct.
say type of dates?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
All right, and so remember, it's between January and end of March, so mid-January to end of March. So if you think of milestones, look at those dates to start picking when you want to hit the goals that you put into here. And let's see, what did I put? Did I have this one before? The goals, yes. So through the program, look at the goals as an entrepreneur, structure. I don't think I put specific goals, so I'm gonna have to think a bit. So with the program, remember, there's different areas of your business that you can improve. With 10,000, it's difficult to improve everything. So if you do a mini assessment of yourself to say, based on the stage my business is in right now, what would help me get to that next milestone, whether it's improving sales. In the example here, they talk about profitability. So maybe you're having good sales, but there's not a lot of money left in the bank at the end of the week, and you're trying to figure out why. That would be a profitability issue. Or you just need more sales, need more customers. You can also look at improving your website experience. So creating new products or menu items, any of these things that you wanted to use that money for and get support and training in this program, you'd want to put it in here. And then you do want to talk about your revenue plan. So now when it talks about how are you going to acquire customers, so based on the services or products that you mentioned up above, so up here where it talked about explain your revenue streams, this is where you'd want to improve upon those revenue streams in this section, talking about your revenue plan. And now it does talk about funding and grant goals. So I wouldn't only put that you're trying to get 10 grand from the Amex blueprint. You definitely want to talk about what other type of funding would you need to fully optimize your business. And that would be a goal that you might have maybe for the entire year, but you do want to outline it here and touch on, I would definitely mention that you would looking to secure the 10 grand from the Amex blueprint. But if there's additional funding that you need, I would mention it here as well. And then, so this revenue goal is different from your revenue plan. So now you have your plan to improve how many customers you're getting. Based on improving that revenue plan, what revenue goal are you looking for? And would you think for the year would be good to put Nav, or by the end of the program? So for the year is better?
I would do both. I always like to look at things short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. So like I said, more detail, the better.
All right, so keeping a note of that. And then for your overall team, this is where we're touching on, because even though you might be going through the program and you're the founder, you do want to create a strategy for your team. So if you are a solopreneur, even if you're incorporated, you're by yourself, and you don't have a team, that should be one of your team goals, is to start building a strong team around you. And if you have a few people that are currently on your team, how best can you possibly upskill them or add missing pieces? So this would be a great place to start talking about either building a team around you or upskilling that current team that you have and creating a target for that as well. So now they do ask, what are you hoping to gain from the program to help you reach your goals? I would definitely lean on the mentoring that the DMZ has. So you're going through 12 weeks. What do you want to get out of these 12 weeks? So touching on, hey, the money would help, maybe outlining some high level areas that you want to use the 10,000 for. And I mean, it asks that in the next question. So you might not have to really go too deep in what you're using the money for, but really the goals from the training that you're getting from the DMZ would be a good place to lean in and explain, hey, these are areas in our business that we feel could be strengthened. We are hoping this training is going to help us hit these goals by being accepted into this program. And now, of course, how would that 10,000 impact your business in a positive way? So I would shy away from, hey, I need 10,000 just to pay my rent, and that'll kind of just help me sustain myself. Really look at what type of return on investment this 10,000 could have, what gaps that if you got the right capital and this 10,000 could really plug in your business so that you're in better position to amplify what you're doing. A lot of times, I know some of the research, it talks about the difficulty in just getting an injection of up to 10,000 into our businesses and the impact that it has because we can't get access to it. I would talk about, yes, getting that extra 10,000. If used in this certain way, you'd be able to amplify your business. And I know it's only 1,000 characters, but if you can touch on why it's been difficult to grow by not having access to capital, that would give it context to say, like, now receiving this 10,000 is going to really help you boost and amplify your business. You want any thoughts on that, Nav, is explaining like how to use the 10,000?
No, I think that's, you hit it on spot on. So we're all good.
Solid. And ladies and gentlemen, after that, it is ready to hit the submit button. So, of course, like I mentioned, you should be taking these questions and put them into a Google Doc. I'm trying to think where I can put this, but I'm going to save them into this notepad so that work on it in the Google Doc or in the notepad and then transfer the answers over, because it is a one-page application. So if you leave this page, you lose what you've written. And especially like these areas, it will not save. So answer the questions in a Google Doc and then actually transfer it over so that you're in better position. So I was gonna ask people to talk specifically about their businesses. So I don't know, Nav, did you have any final words of encouragement, or did anybody have questions for Nav before we let him go?
I just think is just be as detailed as possible, and I keep emphasizing on that because I know what they want to see and what they want to hear. Be honest and sound passionate about your business, which I'm sure you all are. And then from there, as long as you know you've done your best, then hopefully you should end up in your favor.
Excellent. Yes, much appreciated. All right, so I did want to check in on those that are in attendance. I see Brenton. Brenton, how you feeling? Is this a grant that you feel comfortable with applying for?
Yes. Yes. Good to be here with you, man. Doing good. I thought the information was very clear, very straightforward. I think that we're definitely well positioned to take part in this.
Excellent, excellent. And Brian, I was curious, are you sharing it with some of the entrepreneurs that you're supporting with the fund?
No, this specifically, I'm looking to see where I can do some expansion with Enlighten itself. So,
Oh, solid.
and it was having a discussion. There's some different area. I mean, without going into a lot of detail, there's some new stuff that's come up. Actually, looking to do some things, taking some stuff that's come out of TMU, and bring that forward, and maybe partnering with some of the entrepreneurs coming out of your sustainability program.
Excellent.
So I just talked to Chris Beth earlier today, so there's a further conversation, but yeah, there's some thoughts I have where I like this to go with Enlighten specifically, not the companies in the fund are in a different place. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, glad you're able to make it. Did you have any additional questions, kind of how to structure answers for the questions, or seems pretty straightforward?
Straightforward so far. I mean, I said I got to give this some thought within the next 48 hours, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Who do I see next? Sue. Sue, how you feeling? Any specific thoughts on how to approach the answers for the questions?
Well, I'm not a great writer, so that's my only issue, but try my best. Tell people to try.
Yeah, and again, if you get stuck, please send us a note. The one thing that we don't like to see is, because you might feel that you're not a strong writer, then we miss out on grants because we don't get the applications in. There's definitely services and us just here to support you. So wherever you feel like you're stuck on a question, send us a note so that maybe we can walk you through it and get you unstuck,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Who do I see? Oh, Jose. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah, this program definitely is a good fit for what we're trying to accomplish in 2024. It's a good start. I'm actually looking for multiple grants this year. Because I'm starting a new project that's going to require a lot of financing. So I'm doing it in stages. The stage one is actually fitting perfectly with the timeline that they have here between January and March. Gotcha. And then we want to be able to go for equity funding by the end of the year. So yeah, big things are going on.
I love it. Yes, yes. And that's where, identify you're looking to secure this grant, but also in the future when it's asking for like your funding goals, like what you're looking to secure over the next year would be good to identify.
Okay, so we put all that in there.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sweet. Who do I see? Oh, Nicole. How you feeling about this?
Yeah, hi.
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful. Any thoughts or questions about how to approach the questions they're asking? Or you feeling, is it pretty straightforward? How you feeling?
I'm not familiar with the pitch deck. I think that's one of the first questions I saw, so that's something that I will have to navigate, I guess, or look up. But other than that, I think it's straightforward.
Okay, I didn't see them ask for a pitch deck. Nav, did I miss it?
No, it would ask you for like
Oh,
the
sorry,
pitch deck.
pitch us. Sorry, forgive me, I was reading that incorrectly. It's pitch us your company in 100 words or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, the pitch deck you wouldn't need for the actual application. Something that you can build out throughout the program.
Okay.
That will help you with.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, when you get into the pitch decks, that's where anxiety raises. But again, if anyone feels stuck with how to answer certain questions, again, like if you have questions about how to answer it, I would say send us a note and I'll put my email in the chat. If you have questions general to like the structure of the grant itself or the mentoring, more high level, not detailed into how to answer the question, I feel that would be better to send Nav.
Yeah. And I put my email in the chat, and good luck everyone. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
All right. Oh, I missed one person. Leroy, my bad. How you feeling? Any specific questions about the application process?
Well, no, my questions, the questions I had off the top of my head has been answered. I mean,
Oh, I think it went mute.
my audio keeps giving me problems. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm a little bit, to be honest, skeptical about it because I've been heard of and been applying for and into a lot of these, and starting with the first big disappointment when I'm sure we all were disappointed about that too, when Trudeau came out with a 22 million fund for Black entrepreneurs, and that money went, I don't know where. I mean, I got contacted by the CIBC about it. The guy who was administering it from there, and then there was nothing, and I tried following up, and there's nothing. So, anyways, that's my frustration there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because all my things, my revenue stream now is just all word of mouth. So this is perfect fit for me to be doing some advertising on, in local papers, local radio, and in other countries as well to get, because I do immigration. So to reach the people that are able to hear the services that I can offer them.
Okay, solid. And we should definitely have offline conversation about your journey through trying to get the funding through these Black entrepreneur loan programs, because a lot of people share your sentiment of the frustration and of the process. So would love to see, who you tried to go through. I know there's like 6 of them, maybe 7 now. So we'd be curious to see what your journey's been like. But thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Brian, I saw your hands up. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so I was looking at the application. When it's saying your total revenue year to date, is that since incorporation or just for the year?
I would do just for the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great questions.
Excellent. All right. So just quick recap, the program goals and area of interest.
Sorry, Ryan, I do
Oh,
gotta run. Was there anything else on your end?
No, I think that was great. And I really appreciate you being able to hop in and share that insight. So yes, thank you again for joining us today.
No problem. Good luck, everyone. And shoot me an email if you have any questions.
All right, thanks, Naveed.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So yeah, just as we're looking through different questions, I would say this area is really important because they want to see, as you're going through the 12-week program, what are you going to use to measure your progress? So for your program goals, area of interest, like for myself, let's say we're looking to expand into additional locations through and so I want to complete also get research into the cities to expand into. So that was the goal. And let's say we want to do that before the program actually ends, because our season starts in March. So you can say by end of February, we want to finish our brand documents, have our license agreements ready to go. We've researched the best cities to expand into. Oh, actually, I should put targeting 10 cities. But one thing, you should not answer these questions in the actual form. You should put it into a Google Doc, or I use Google Keep to just keep notes. That way you can answer it out of here. All right. I did see a question. How many grants have I received? There's been quite a few. Most, like the biggest one was the Youth Opportunities Fund. So that was the 210,000. We received the TELUS grant. We received a grant from the city of Brampton. We received actually 2 grants from the city of Brampton. The Youth Opportunities Fund, that's a provincial one. And I'm talking specifically about detailing nights, like not the nonprofit. The nonprofit has gotten, I would say, more grants than DK, but I find it's a lot more difficult to get funding as a for-profit, even though they have like social enterprise grants now. That is very new, and I've been operating incorporated since 2011. So since then, there's been very few grants for businesses. So I know the 210 with the Youth Opportunities Fund, the 20,000 with TELUS, the city of Brampton was $1,000 each. So I'm always trying to find different ways to get grants. Something that I've started to lean more into is actually getting sponsorships for the youth programs that our businesses run. So when you approach as the business trying to get sponsorship, it's pretty difficult. But what we did for the Youth Opportunities Fund was create kind of a division that is specific to the youth program that we do. And then that program, which is called Knighthood Academy, is what we use to go after like sponsorship and donations, and what we usually use to apply to grants that for-profit companies can't apply to. So take that as a tip. If there's specific things that you do in the community, try to give it its own packaging. It makes it easier to get grants that for-profit companies can't get. But as I'm going through, and then it did talk about the revenue plan. So it does, I mean, you don't have to go too deep. Oh, actually, I should put this in my Google Keep here. So our revenue plan. How many? So, oh, actually, I put that already. So we sell, oops, 10 additional scenario. So we were targeting, where did we target? Oh no, Brampton sold already. Oakville sold. This is not that. Nope, I was spelling that wrong. New market, yeah. I'm gonna have to check my map. Where else am I missing? Oh yeah, downtown Toronto. Oh, but we're also targeting Buffalo. Jackson. So this is something that we could put into here. Might have to just put some proper commas there. So this would be something for the end of the program. Like by the end of it, we would, because we probably wouldn't have been able to, well, actually, maybe, because we wanted to get that done before March. So let's say midway in March, we should have active there's sales calls or prospects in these 10 additional cities across Ontario into the US. So by going through their program, that's going to help us fine tune market research. These are our target cities. So we want to do market research in each of those cities and then start to sell those licenses out there. So it talks about the funding that we need. So we do need, oh, let me put this into my Keep. We are looking to secure all right. So this time kind of touches on the fuller vision. So you could put that in here. And then short term. Oh, and I need to put this into revenue goals. In the short term, we are looking to sell to sales of, let's see, oh, again, this is why you should answer the question in this document, because the way they have it structured is just one long short answer. H. Alter. Should. Canada, the US by 19. Okay, so something like this we can put in. All right, and then the team goals. It's with There's all these things, as I'm thinking about them, it's like you kind of bullet point what's in your head, and then you come back to it to make it into fuller, say, answers and fuller paragraphs. But for now, so still sounds weird. To should be right. As I think about this. Oh, Sue, I see your hand is up. You can go ahead.
Okay, so I started working on the application form last night. I was unable to save it. So is there a way, because you know, normally at the end of an application, you can press a button that says save for later. But there
Right.
wasn't an option at all, so.
Yeah, for this one, I didn't see any option for that. And if you leave the page, because of how the questions are structured, it won't save. Like the cookies won't save it. So you do want to take the question that you're answering and put it into a different document.
Oh, that's the only way, eh? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen any way to save it.
All right, thanks.
No worries. Let's see. Oh, I was just thinking through this.
Hey, Ryan, it's Brian here. Got to jump. Thanks very much.
Yes.
From there. Okay.
Hey, good seeing you. Yes, we'll talk soon.
All right. Take care. All right.
Proud. So team goals. We are, with our current team, we are looking to improve our skills to be able to expand efficiently and improve its research. So something like this, definitely expand upon that. And of course, what are you looking to get out of the program over the 4 months? So it's a combination of what you've talked about here, and you'd want to turn that into like a proper paragraph, maybe a couple of paragraphs, and then talking about like your funding goals and what you actually want. So in this section where it talks about the 10,000, you would just only want to talk about what does this 10,000, what will it do for your business and help you hit your next milestone. But beyond that, you consent to the collection and you'd hit submit. So I definitely want to hear that everybody that has joined us today does submit. So please, if you do get stuck, let me know. Oh, I'll put my email into the chat. And also, I'll put the email for Empowered for X, just in case I'm slow to respond. So these two emails, send us a note if you're stuck with any of the questions. We can definitely do our best to walk you through and make sure that you get yours submitted. So was there any final questions before we close out?
The questions will be coming when we're filling out the application.
Right, yes, yeah. Hey, fair enough. But again, thanks for taking the time to just get this overview. It was great that Nav could join us to give us a bit more insight on what the DMZ side is looking at. But yeah, they want to get this money out. It will be competitive, but keep pushing. I know we might not get this one or the next one, but as they come out, let's not miss it just because we didn't get our applications in. But
well, I appreciate you sending out those notifications to us so that we're aware that they're there. So that's how we can keep pushing.
100%. And this one, I almost missed it. So I'm glad that we caught it with a bit of time before it was due. But yeah, I'll do my best to actually get these to you as early as I can so we can prepare and get our applications in and not feel rushed. But yeah, man, always good talking to you. And have a good rest of the afternoon. We'll talk soon.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ryan.
Ryan.
It's been great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ryan. Take care.
Yes, you too.